Welcome to this special edition explainer. Look, if you're an analyst, a venture investor, a corporate executive, or honestly just a professional aggressively tracking the bleeding edge of tech, you know that keeping up with artificial intelligence, well, it feels a lot like trying to drink from a fire hose. So today, we're taking the incredible insights from the Next in AI newsletter and transforming them into a high-level 360-degree executive intelligence briefing. We're cutting through the noise to prioritize literally just the absolute most impactful news. The goal today is super simple: to give you the ultimate impact radar so you can see exactly where the cash is flowing, where the real-world value is actually being extracted, and of course, what's coming next.
Okay, let's dive into this. For you time-poor executives out there, here is the impact radar for today. First, macro trends and cash burns. Second, real-world enterprise ROI. Third, the emerging AI frontier. And finally, startups and infrastructure.
Right, let's kick things off with Section 1, Macro Trends and Cash Burns. Looking at the massive financial realities from the top down, $5.9 billion. That is exactly how much cash Alphabet burned in their second quarter alone, just on AI. But context is everything here. Their cloud unit, which is the very unit that rents out AI computing power, notched a record 82% growth. So they are making incredible money, essentially selling the shovels for the AI gold rush. But the outlays? They're rising even faster. Alphabet is now projected to spend an additional $15 billion in 2026. For anyone tracking the market, this poses the ultimate multi-billion-dollar question. When is the return on investment actually going to justify this historical scale of cash burn?
And that corporate cash burn, it trickles directly down to the workforce, framing what is arguably the core economic debate of our time: automated jobs versus augmented jobs. As reported by BBC News, the bosses of the world's biggest companies are diverting these vast sums into AI tools, in part because they know it could save major money on headcount down the line. It's kind of the ultimate corporate balancing act. But rather than relying on, wild claims and speculation, we actually have real data now. The newly launched Anthropic Economic Index connector for Claude lets anyone dive directly into the data to see exactly which jobs are changing, which tasks are genuinely being automated, and how AI is fundamentally augmenting others.
Which brings us to Section 2, real-world enterprise ROI.
Pivoting directly from those macro costs down to the micro payoff, how are organizations actively extracting tangible value from AI right now? So the crucial point is that returns are showing up across wildly different sectors today. In government, researchers at Stanford HAI used AI to scan an unbelievable 500 million words of state law. They're revealing massive regulatory bloat and providing the actual tools to cut through decades of red tape. Then, in the enterprise sector, NTT DATA Group gave ChatGPT Enterprise and Codex to 9,000 of their employees. And the result? They slashed their incident analysis time down to just 30 minutes. That's a huge win. And over in science, OpenAI is actively partnering with the U.S. Department of Energy and national labs to use frontier AI to accelerate national scientific discovery. So we're not talking about theoretical savings here. These are real bottom-line wins happening across the board.
And get this, the deployments aren't just limited to terrestrial offices and labs anymore. According to IEEE Spectrum, NASA has successfully put Google's Gemma large language model into orbit, literally in space. There's actually a pretty heated debate right now about the viability of running orbital data centers for these massive models. But it absolutely proves that you don't necessarily need thousands of GPUs on Earth to make an LLM useful. The edge cases for deployment are literally reaching for the stars.
Moving on to Section 3, the emerging AI frontier. Pushing right to the absolute edge of what's possible, we're shifting from current enterprise ROI to the near-term commercial implications bubbling up from some really dense academic research. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how fast these academic concepts are turning into commercial realities. Take our first trend. Researchers matched AI detection tools to daily sales records on Amazon and found that generative AI is absolutely flooding the market. We're talking about producing book-length fiction at near zero cost across over 14,000 self-published titles. Second, look at retail. The gap between a robot working in a lab and one actually working in a real store is closing incredibly fast. A new systems-level approach called the DEED framework has been successfully tested on humanoid robots doing supermarket chip restocking, where they're handling real-world errors and shifts on the fly. And finally, AI is totally transforming academic discovery. Web analytics are showing a massive surge in academic library traffic mediated directly by platforms like ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Gemini. But of course, with this rapid frontier expansion comes some severe compliance risks. Pay close attention to this term right here, license laundering. Researchers have identified that as AI artifacts, things like datasets and models, move through multi-platform supply chains from places like Hugging Face down to GitHub, their original license obligations are often being stripped and replaced. For venture investors and corporate executives building products on open source or shared AI models, this is a massive, massive legal and compliance blind spot. It absolutely has to be addressed before deployment.
And that brings us to our final segment, Section 4, Startups and Infrastructure. To really understand how all these models move so fast, we need to look at the foundational ecosystem powering this whole frontier. And right now, we are seeing two wildly different approaches to infrastructure. On one side, we have these massive ironclad hardware deployments. For example, NVIDIA's founder Jensen Huang just brought an AI supercomputer online at the Naval Postgraduate School for Education and Defense. But then on the other side, we have highly agile software-level AgenticAI. AWS is rolling out AI teammates on Amazon Bedrock, which platforms like Monday.com are already using to run production AI agents. And this brilliantly illustrates the current dynamic. It's the raw, brute force power of the supercomputer versus the specialized agility of the AI teammate.
This infrastructure builds into a broader startup ecosystem, where the momentum of agentic AI moving into everyday workflows is just explosive. Just look at these recent product hunt launches. We have Prompt Scout, which acts kind of like SEO, but for AI. It tells brands exactly how they appear in chats like ChatGPT or Gemini. Then there's AI Eyes, which gives AI companions real-time senses, but strictly through explicit, visible permission, which solves a massive privacy hurdle. There's Blaxel Agent Drive, which is literally a shared file system allowing multiple AI agents to concurrently read, write, and share contexts. And finally, Runever, an agentic project management environment designed specifically to stop creatives from context switching. These startups, they are building the connective tissue that makes AI truly autonomous. Which brings us full circle to the core anxiety we discussed at the very top of this explainer. Will AI help you do your job or replace you? Look, whether you're a corporate executive trying to justify a multi-billion-dollar cash burn, an analyst hunting for real ROI, or a creative integrating a new AI agent into your daily workflow, the reality is pretty clear. The tech is advancing, it's automating some tasks, and heavily augmenting others. The answer to this question doesn't actually depend on the AI. It depends entirely on how effectively you leverage these rapid advancements. So as we watch humanoids restocking supermarket shelves and LLMs literally orbiting the Earth, ask yourself, are you building the systems to adapt, or are you just waiting for the systems to adapt to you? Thank you so much for joining me for this executive briefing, and keep your eyes on the radar.